Welcome to this 88th edition of Winning the Division. I am your co-host, Ryan Smith, alongside former NFL tight end Ben Troupe. We are recording this on Monday, February 2nd, less than a week until Super Bowl Sunday. This is going to be your Super Bowl preview episode. We'll get into Seahawks, Patriots. We'll talk about the Cardinals and Raiders head coaching hires that were made final yesterday, along with some headlines around the league, as this Super Bowl Sunday is what's going to dominate this week. But obviously, Ben, as you know, the NFL headlines never stop. There's always headlines to be made throughout the NFL. But first things first, let me give you guys my introduction into Super Bowl Sunday. It is February 8th, Seahawks, Patriots. Well, couple things about this game as I get into it. Super Bowl 60, 6:30 p.m., Levi Stadium in San Francisco, California. Santa Clara, California, home of the San Francisco 49ers. This is the second time Levi Stadium has hosted the Super Bowl. The other was 10 years ago when my Carolina Panthers faced off against the Denver Broncos in Super Bowl 50. We all know how that went. This is the 14th Super Bowl held in the state of California. Only Florida has hosted more Super Bowls. NBC will be the broadcast partner for the Super Bowl this year. Mike Tirico will be on the call. This is Tirico's first time on the call for a Super Bowl, sixth time for his partner, Chris Collins.
Whoa, this is Mike Tirico's first time calling the Super Bowl?
It is.
That is a travesty.
This game will also be featured on Peacock as well, streaming for those who may not be able to watch it on NBC. Patriots appearing in their 12th Super Bowl appearance, most of any franchise. In fact, no franchise has appeared in more than 8. New England is looking for its 7th Super Bowl win, which would pass Pittsburgh for the most all time. 10 of New England's 12 Super Bowls have come since 2000. No other team has appeared in more than 5 over that span. The Seattle Seahawks, this is their third Super Bowl, with all previous appearances coming since 2006. They are 1-2 all time in Super Bowls. This is a rematch back in 2014 when Malcolm Butler intercepted Russell Wilson at the goal line. Patriots, who were down 10 with under 8 minutes to go, ended up winning that Super Bowl 28-24 back in 2014. Tom Brady was the MVP in that Super Bowl. This is the 10th Super Bowl rematch in NFL history. The winner of the first meeting is 6-3 in the second meeting. And then so how did these two teams get to the Super Bowl? The Patriots went 14-3, won the AFC East, and beat the Chargers, Texans, and the Broncos in the playoffs. Seahawks also 14-3, won the NFC West, their first division title since 2020. The Patriots' first division title, snapping a 5-year win streak from the Buffalo Bills. And the Seahawks defeated the Niners, the Rams, and that was it, since they didn't have a wild card game. They had the bye. This is the only Super Bowl since the 1970 merger of the AFL-NFL in which both teams rank in the top 4 in regular season scoring offense and regular season scoring defense. This is also the first Super Bowl matchup since 1981, that would be the 49ers and the Bengals, to feature 2 teams that had preseason Super Bowl odds of 50 or longer, 50-1 or longer. Finally, as I kind of get through this here, the Seahawks' last Super Bowl win came at the end of 2013 as beating the Broncos 43-8. The Patriots appeared in their last Super Bowl back in 2018 when they beat the Rams 13-3. There were others.
And guess what's significant about that game, though, Smitty? Who didn't play in that Super Bowl? That's playing in this one. Cooper Kupp was injured in that Super Bowl. They scored 3 points, and then when they came back to the Super Bowl, he played and obviously won MVP. Now he's on the Seattle Seahawks, heading back to the Super Duper against the Patriots.
All right, here we go. Players to watch and a couple of questions as I turn it over to Ben. Patriots players to watch, obviously, Drake May. He might win the MVP if Stafford does not win it. He has been terrific all season long, can make defenses play with his legs as well. Stephon Diggs, massive free agent, get up for the Patriots, 1,000 yards receiving this year. Not as big of a play threat as he once was, but can still get it done, and he will be crucial against that Seahawks secondary. And finally, Ramondre Stevenson had a kind of bounce back year, over 280 yards in the postseason. And then on defense, you've got Milton Williams, part of that free agent class on defense from the Philadelphia Eagles. He appeared in last year's Super Bowl as well with the Philadelphia Eagles. And Christian Gonzalez, picking off Jared Stidham last week to steal the Patriots' trip to the Bowl, has been outstanding all year. Second-team All-Pro selection last year. For the Seahawks, Sam Darnold, first quarterback looking to become a Super Bowl champion after winning. After playing at least 5 different teams. Started with the New York Jets, then Carolina, then San Francisco, then Minnesota, and now in Seattle. Jackson Smith and Jigma at receiver led the NFL with 1,793 receiving yards in the regular season, 10 catches for 153 yards in the NFC Championship game. He is the 5th player to lead the NFL in receiving yards and make the Super Bowl in the same season. Each of the previous 4 people that did that did, in fact, then win the Super Bowl. Kenneth Walker, the running back for the Seattle Seahawks, picking up his explosiveness since Zach Charbonnet is out with a torn ACL. And then on defense, finally, you've got Devon Witherspoon, their terrific star cornerback, PFF's top-graded cornerback this year against the run especially, and he has a second-team All-Pro selection. And then DeMarcus Lawrence, who joined the Seahawks this year after the Dallas Cowboys' long, productive career with them, has been terrific this year. 6 sacks, 3 forced fumbles, 3 fumbles recovered, 2 of which he returned for the touchdowns, if you remember that game earlier this year. He's the number 2 edge defender against the run. So that leads me finally to my questions and my prediction, and I get turn it over to Ben. Can the Patriots protect Drake May, and can Drake May protect the ball? That might seem easy, but not against this Seahawks defense. It will not be. Can the Seahawks protect Darnold? Their offensive line is also shaky as well. The Patriots' defensive line is not quite as good as Seattle's, as we know, but they have been effective this season, making teams pay. And then will special teams play a big role in this game? Seattle Seahawks have used special teams to their advantage for most of this year. Jason Myers, their kicker, one of the NFL's best. And as we know, Michael Dixon, their punter, can flip a field. So Patriots coming into this game as 4.5-point underdogs. It is the largest Super Bowl spread in the last 15 years. And Patriots will wear their white jerseys, white pants, Seahawks, navy blue jerseys, and pants. Patriots are 4-2 in the Super Bowl when they wear this combination. Seahawks 0-2 when they wear this combination. And finally, I'm not going to do the stuff from the halftime and the pregame. That'll all be on the screen. But anyway, my final prediction, as I turn it over to Ben, this was my version of the Super Bowl 60 preview. Give me Seahawks winning the game. We'll call it Seahawks 28, Patriots 20.
No, I like to break down. I will say this. A lot to break down when you talk about this game from the coaches. How everybody wants to talk about Mike Vrabel and what he's been able to reestablish in year one, but he's also this is his second time being a head coach, so he understands how to build a culture. He came from that culture. That's the culture that built him as a player turned coach. He got that old thing back with Josh McDaniels. When the Patriots in their heyday, you had 3 things in common. You had Belichick, you had Brady, and you had McDaniels. Well, McDaniel is back, and you see what he's doing. Drake May. I don't know if Drake May is going to win the regular season MVP because of I think Matthew Stafford might have locked that up, but I don't. But I think I think Drake May seems to be a guy that's definitely a team player, definitely a family man, and I think he cares more about team success than individual success. That being said, I think you got the battle of very, very similar styles. Both teams are very, very aggressive on defense. Both teams. I think the X factor is not the usual suspects. It's easy to talk about, Ernest Jones, Seattle. You talk about Leonard Williams and DeMarcus Lawrence. No, the guy to watch is for the Patriots. That's Clavon Chason. Clavon Chason has been all over the field. He has 7.5 sacks in the regular season. That's all. That almost. I mean, he had like 5 sacks in 4 years with the Jacksonville Jaguars. I think he had like 5 in his previous destination. Now that he's got it got played with. If we want to talk about Milton Williams, as they should, they want to talk about all these additions. Clavon Chason is playing good at the right time. He is all over the field. I mean, he is wreaking havoc.
Would you like to guess who his last team was, Ben? That would be my Panthers. They released him 2 years ago now, I want to say, and he has made them look very bad. Here's the
thing.
They took a chance on him. They took a chance on him after Jacksonville.
It's all about fit. I think Clayvon. When Clayvon gets to be a guy, he don't have to be the guy. But having to be the guy is hard because that means that I have to produce. I have to win one-on-ones. I have to be able to create, a pocket. I have to close in the pocket when you talk about what he does for that defensive line, make life rough on the quarterback. But that's what he's doing right now with the help. They're doing it as like a team effort with Milton Williams in the middle, but the matchup to watch is going to be Christian Gonzalez and JSN. That is going to be the matchup to watch because everybody wants to talk about the premier corners in the National Football League, and I get it. I mean, Derek Stingley Jr. and those guys, like you got some guys that are bookend corners now. Now, I just want to make sure I go through this because I want to say this right. Hold on. Who was the all pro teams in 2025? Yeah. Just so people know, because I don't want no nonsense. Where is it at? The teams here. Matthew Stafford was first team all pro. Okay, let me go to the defense. Because they finna make people real mad when they do these things. And the reason why I don't who was my cornerbacks? I know it was Derek Stingley Jr. If I can I should have had this pulled up already. I know one of them was Derek Stingley. I can't remember who the other two corners, but I don't think Christian Gonzalez. The reason why I'm saying I don't think Christian Gonzalez was a first team all pro. I don't think. But he should have been. If he wasn't, he should have been. Because this dude is about as good as they get. I'm looking forward to seeing him go out there. Oh, here it is. Say the cornerback. You got that's live corner. Derek Stingley. Oh yeah. It was Derek Stingley, Quinyon Mitchell, and Cooper DeJean. They were so both 2024 draft picks of the Philadelphia Quinyon Mitchell and Cooper DeJean, they got first. Christian Gonzalez should be there. Christian Gonzalez is a lockdown corner, and I'm looking forward to seeing that. But as much as we want to make it about the coaches, we want to make it about the matchups, we want to make it about the colors the uniform combination that they're gonna do. It's about Sam Darnold. Sam Darnold, to me, is what a franchise quarterback should have to go through if he does not get re-signed by the team that drafted him. Sam Darnold got written off when he was with the Jets. When the last time the Jets had a good quarterback? So it's not Sam Darnold. It's a list. It's a laundry list. They had Justin Fields and Aaron Rodgers and Michael Vick and Chad Pennington and Mark Sanchez and Brett Favre. The list goes on and on and on. Smitty, this is why this is about Sam Darnold. Sam Darnold has staying power. It didn't work out with the Jets with Sam Darnold. It didn't work out when he went to Carolina. I know he went over there to San Francisco. I think he gets to Minnesota. Rookie gets hurt. He steps in. He wins 13 games. People's like, he's a fluke. He goes over to Seattle. He signs a $100 million contract in the offseason. He does 13 wins again. And Sam Darnold is a one of one for this reason. There is only one quarterback in NFL history to win 13 games for two different teams, and that will be one Sam Darnold. That is crazy to think about when you think about the quarterbacks and the quarterback play that have come through. But Coach McDonald of the Seahawks, Smitty, I don't know if you've seen this. I don't know if it was this offseason. They come into the facility. He says it's the NFC Championship game. The weather is windy, it's rainy. 12s are going crazy. The crowd is going crazy. He said, bad for them, just right for us.
Yeah.
And they go to the Super Bowl. What the X factor outside of Sam Darnold, to me, is Coach McDonald, because the culture that he's established in 2 years is showing itself. I mean, you got Pete Carroll coming back. You got Pete Carroll in the building. You talk about these former Cam Chancellor and Beast Mode and those guys. The culture that has been built in Seattle, people thought it would never be built again after Pete Carroll because of how much sustainability. I mean, Richard Sherman was in the building and Doug Baldwin and those guys. This is going to be a battle of styles. And you got two total different styles. But it's who's willing. What they say, He said, in the words of the great Michael Irvin, he said, "I'm gonna use your weakness to beat you. I'm gonna use your strength to break you." That is such a great way, because I'm gonna use your weakness to beat you, but to break you, I'm gonna break you with your strength. What is the strength of the New England Patriots? They don't beat themselves. They do not do that. They don't do it. What is the strength of the Seattle Seahawks? They just keep coming. They just keep coming. Because the Seattle Seahawks, they can beat you running away. They can beat you in a back and forth affair. They can use special teams. They can use momentum. And I think that's the thing, Smitty, that I'm looking forward to the most is who's more willing to beat themselves and who is more willing to expose the other team for what they lack. What the Patriots lack is that Drake May has looked like a young quarterback these last games and in the playoffs. He has not looked like himself. He has not looked like himself. We said this, Smitty, if C.J. Stroud would have not turned the ball over, it would be the Texans versus the Seattle Seahawks. That's what it would have been. But he didn't get the memo. That's a different show. We've already done that show. Check shows 87, 86, or whatever leading up to this show. But Smitty, I think you said it though. It's so many stories. What the Super Bowl forces you to do is to dig deep into these storylines. The Clavon Chaisons, right? The Stephon Diggs, right? The Sam Darnolds, the Kenneth Walkers, the Leonard Williams, the Ernest Jones, the JSNs. You have to look deep and see what is it about this team versus that team. I think Coach McDonald is here to break up this New England Patriots party. This Robert Kraft, he is a great owner. He's back in the Super Bowl. Mike Vrabel, making sure that the young lady, the lady reporter, I don't know her name, but every time he always call on her first. All these traditions, right? All these traditions. Mike Vrabel is a player's coach. He understands what the players deal with. But he also says the standard doesn't get lowered. We have to have the same mindset. A standard does not get lowered no matter who the player is. That you have to level up. You have to level up your mindset to the standard. If you are Seattle knows, just like when Russell Wilson was there and Marshawn Lynch and Richard Sherman and Earl Thomas and Cam Chancellor, and the list goes on and on and on, they are not the media darling. They are not who the NFL wants to get dominant again. Because they was kind of like the misfit, like the Island of Misfit Toys when they was doing what they was doing. They know nobody like them. That picture of Richard Sherman, a young Richard Sherman who beat New England at Seattle, and you got that picture, like, why you mad, bro? See, everybody like, who is this dude? No. I'll let you know who he was because we had staying power. It's hard, Smitty, to get back to what you had. As soon as Carolina let go of Cam and embrace, not saying they ever did or didn't do this, you got to let go of Cam to embrace Bryce. And what happens? When Cam is in the building, they in the playoffs again. That was a beautiful atmosphere, by the way, with Jonathan Stewart and all those guys on the sideline. And guess what? Who played up? Who played big that game? Bryce. So Levi Stadium, Santa Clara. I just think for me, this Seattle Seahawks team is dangerous because they don't have a lot of weaknesses. They do now. They do have weaknesses. Every team does. They don't have a lot of them. They can beat you with defense. They can beat you running the football. They can beat you throwing the football. They can beat you with special teams. They willing to take chances. They believe in Sam Darnold. Now, I'm not saying anything about Seattle that I couldn't say for New England. Right. Here is the difference. Here is the difference. Leonard Williams, he got drafted by the Jets too. Yep. DeMarcus Lawrence got drafted by Dallas. Sam Darnold got drafted by the Jets. It's a lot of guys on Seattle. They're like, dude, people thought we couldn't play. You remember when they were telling us we couldn't play it? We ain't that good and all that. But a lot of guys like that on New England too. A lot of guys like that on New England. Like I said, you got the Island of Misfit Toys as the New England Patriots versus like the replacements over here with Seattle. Because I
like that.
And so when I think about this game, I got Seattle winning too. I got it being a really, really good game because sometimes, right? If you're a boxer, the goal of a trainer is to make sure you keep swinging. So that trainer, you come in there, they looking at you, they wiping the blood off, they putting the Vaseline all over the eyes and stuff, and they just tell you, all right, Smitty, listen. Because at a certain day, listen, he gonna try to hit you with that left. I want you to move right and come back to the counter. Yeah, because of just try it first. So I do got Seattle winning. I like the score you had, but I'll say 28-24 Seattle. Because Smitty, I think when we get to breaking down this game, Sam Darnold potentially could be the Super Bowl MVP. RG3 said he made it to the Super Bowl before Josh Allen and Justin Herbert and Lamar Jackson, right? And Trevor Lawrence. And the list goes on and on. You know what somebody told RG3? Oh, he made it there before you too. Don't leave yourself out because you didn't go either. See, why I can appreciate that comment is don't separate you as if to say you've always been a commentator, RG3. You went number 2 overall, didn't you? Yeah. Did you ever make? I made Rookie of the Year. Yeah. Congratulations. Did you make the Super Bowl? No. And I know it was you, Mark Ingram, and Lamar Jackson all on the same team with the Ravens. They had a Heisman package. Give me the Heisman package with all 3 of y'all in the backfield. Sam Darnold is what you want to see happen for quarterbacks if and when they don't make it on their franchises. And like I say, Smitty, you've worked at different places that weren't a good fit. Like, man, this ain't a good fit. You find where you fit, then you flourish. If I'm where I'm supposed to be, I can bloom. Because I'm not trying to fit in a place I don't want. Sam Darnold ain't for everybody. But I remember Seattle lost, and everybody was jumping on Sam Darnold. Ernest Jones. Shout out to Ernest Jones, man, a country boy from Ware County down in the backwoods of Georgia, South Carolina, South Carolina product. He said something that I appreciated. They was asking him about Sam Darnold. They were trying to say this, they lost the game because of Sam Darnold. And Ernest Jones kind of cut the report off. He said, Are you trying to get me to say that Sam Darnold is the reason why we didn't win? He said, Sam Darnold is the reason why we win. He is the reason why we are winning. And he said to everybody that got a problem with Sam Darnold, F you. Like straight like that. Like I'm not gonna mince words. And he goes, I know my wife and my mom ain't gonna like the fact that I'm using that type of language. He say, but let me tell you what you're not gonna do. You're not gonna get me in public to criticize my guy. That is my guy over there. I can rock with that because when you do that, see, that was gonna be a soundbite. They were gonna go to Sam and say, did you hear what Ernest said? Now it's, hey, Ernest Jones says, man, everybody got a problem with you. F you. Like, hey, man, that ain't my words, but I'll rock with her. Because, Smitty, I guarantee you, the New England Patriots team, they tight. I don't got to question how tight they are in Seattle. They are the best teams kicking with each other outside of work. That's what I had to learn in the NFL. If I only know you at work, I don't know you. If I don't know where you live and, what I need to know why you play football. Not that you play. Why do you play football? JSN, I know your faith is strong. You always talking about your faith in God, and I love that about you. Because on that field, you be giving them hell out there. And you notice, right? If JSN don't get his catches and they win, he don't care.
Nope.
He really, really don't care. I think he really wants to win, but usually if they win, it's because he got something to do with it. I think it's going to be a great Super Bowl. I'm looking forward to it. I'm happy for Mike Vrabel. I'm happy for Robert Kraft. I'm happy for Coach McDonald. I'm happy for JSN and Sam Darnold and Kenneth Walker and so many guys to name Tariq. Please don't do no crazy stuff. Don't get on unsportsmanlike. And I know you just playing with emotion. I know that's what you're doing. But save that for the champagne. I wouldn't know nothing about no winning Super Bowls. I don't even know how the locker room look. I don't know. But I am looking forward to the game, Smitty. And if you love football, this is the biggest game ever. Oh, and Smitty, you give me your thoughts. I was arguing with my mom about this. Not even to make it about Bad Bunny. My mother did not know that they did not pay. The NFL doesn't pay the Super Bowl act.
I didn't know that for like 10 years. I've known it for a while now.
I did not understand why somebody will be willing to do the Super Bowl. I said, well, they pay for the, all the stuff. I said, but Mama, everybody's gonna be watching the Super Duper. Like, what type of exposure that would be like? They said, hey, Smitty, listen, think about it. That's like all electricity went out. They said, being in Smitty, you guys are the only podcast on. You guys got to stay on to talk about the game. Okay, Smitty got to go into his announcing role. I'm like, and we sitting here. And next thing you know, listen, man, we appreciate you guys coming on. We'll send you guys an invoice, and you guys got to write the number in of how much we owe you. I'm like, hold on. That's kind of what you're doing if you are the Super Bowl halftime show. But I've heard that Bad Bunny gonna be speaking in Spanish, wearing dress. I don't know what he's gonna do. I just know he is going to piss a lot of people off because people coming at him. Like, leave me alone.
I'm not going to touch that. I'm not going to touch the halftime show, but that's just.
Oh yeah. I'm just saying. I don't know.
Yeah.
I've never heard a Bad Bunny song in my life, and if I have, I couldn't tell you that it was him. But
nope.
I am looking forward to the Super Duper, and I don't know how I even feel about the name of this show with the freaking Panthers living up, because I call this show with the Panthers with 3 teams in mind: the Panthers, my Falcons, and the Titans. Because in my mind, the only way they were getting in is by winning the division. They're not getting in as a wild card. And my Falcons secured the freaking playoff berth for the freaking Panthers and got Raheem Morris fired, who is now the defensive coordinator for the 49ers, which you might get into. But yeah, man, that is my Super Bowl preview. I'm still have something to say about it next week, but I am looking forward to the stars aligning. And shout out to Cooper Kupp, who was injured in the first Super Bowl he was in with the Rams. Yes. And a quick note: the Rams tried to get Cooper Kupp to retire when they knew they wasn't going to keep him because they had a feeling he was going to Seattle. So
the NFL is a business, as they say at the end of the day, and there's a lot of business decisions that are made by players all the time, including one by ex-Vikings general manager Kwefi Adosah-Mensah. We'll get into that too.
Wow.
That we'll save it. We'll get into that in the headlines in just a bit. I wanted to spend at least 30 minutes though on the Super Bowl, maybe a little longer depending on how much time we got left. But yeah, I mean, this is the Super Bowl preview episode. You've heard Ben's pick. You've heard my pick. Let me give you a little bit more information to digest for the Super Bowl, and then I'll tell you and then before I do that, let me do Mike Tirico really quick, and then give you that information to digest. And we'll break it down, the numbers bit by bit. We'll go through this really in the next 5-10 minutes, and then we'll move on to the other stuff. So again, about 30-35 minutes on the Super Bowl preview. Mike Tirico stealing this from Andrew Marchand over at The Athletic. Not stealing, but you know what I mean. Reading quote for quote on his article, quoting him here. He wrote a nice piece on Mike Tirico, who, again, as I said in my notes, the first time he's ever called a Super Bowl. This man is going to be and now again, this is all what I'm now reading is from Andrew Marchand's column at The Athletic. When he becomes the 13th person to call the Super Bowl on TV, it will mark the final complete validation of a gutsy decision that transformed his career and sparked the biggest financial upheaval in sportscaster history. So if you remember, Ben, he left ESPN in 2016, and again, I'm going off the article here, after a quarter century in which he rose to Monday Night Football, but then he left for NBC to replace Bob Costas and Al Michaels. People were not sure why he left. Essentially, he was the number one voice at ESPN, felt like he was almost demoting himself at a reserved role at NBC. But, over the past decade, he has done the U.S. Open and golf, Kentucky Derby, Notre Dame football. But this year, he calls the Super Bowl with Chris Collinsworth on Sunday, and then he will head immediately to Milan to call the Winter Games as the prime time host. It is baffling, as Andrew Marchand says, that ESPN let him walk out that door a decade ago. The now 59-year-old Mike Tirico is likely, like he would have stayed, it sounds like, if the network had shown more urgency in negotiations. He didn't think NBC was a real option. ESPN failed to sign him twice before NBC stormed through. So anyway, there's more about him on this article. Again, Andrew Marchand at The Athletic. But Ben, I just wanted to share that because I don't know if a lot of people knew, like, this man, Mike Tirico, is going to call the Super Bowl for the first time on Sunday. And then he is going to immediately fly to Italy after the game and do the Olympics as their primetime host. I mean, this man also does college football, college basketball, golf, Kentucky. He's done so many things.
I will say this about Mike Tirico. The fact that this is Mike Tirico's first Super Bowl is mind-boggling. The only guy I don't like doing comparisons, but it's the only way to kind of bring the point to the surface. Mike Tirico is like Dan Patrick. I remember Dan Patrick was going back with Colin Cowherd. He was telling him, Colin, please stop acting as if like you're the only. And this is not to throw shade at Colin, but he was saying, dude, I know how much research you do. I know how many people work for you in the background. He said, but before you can talk about what you do, you got to do more than just a sport. You got to do tennis. You got to do track. You got to do Olympic. And Mike Tirico is so effortless at what he does. It's so he don't mince words. He don't say and It's almost like I guarantee you somebody was like they looking through and like, dude, Mike Tirico's never done the Super Bowl. Really? We got to make that happen, man. Like the world deserves.
Yeah, now that there's the rotation now, Fox, NBC.
Yeah. Mike Tirico is a consummate professional. He makes it the way he does his job, from the commentating to the side stories to the interviews to knowing when to insert some humor to knowing. I mean, he's putting on a masterclass. He really, really does, and I'm happy for him. Smitty, I gotta ask you though, as there's only one announcer on here that does play-by-play. Is there? I mean, obviously you would do the Super Bowl. Is there an event that you would want to do? Like, do you have a bucket list event that you would say, dude, I would love to do this?
Whether that's hosting or play-by-play, I would say for me, like most people's, the bucket list. Obviously, a Super Bowl would be fantastic, but the other ones would be probably the Final Four in college hoops. I would also like to. I'm a hockey guy, so for me, Stanley Cup Final would be very cool because I'm a hockey guy.
Okay.
And then probably outside of those three, I don't know enough about golf to do Augusta, but if I would say gymnastics gets me in the booth and I provide some side commentary,
I'm just saying, like, okay, well, that was, I mean, not to get off topic, but so you respect the Florida Panthers and what they're doing right now in the NHL.
Oh yeah, it's they ain't gonna go back this year, but yes, they did their respect. Yes, their respect.
My since we're doing bucket lists, even though I don't really have them, but if there was, I would love to host the NFL Honors, not because I care about who's getting awards,
right?
But just to be able to say, hey, Smitty, you and the missus, man, make sure you got to get to invite. I would say, look, I'm inviting everybody I work with and know y'all flying them in, y'all putting them up. And I say, look, when they're on the red carpet, I want you to ask them questions like they were a first team or like they're NFL. Because I'll say, from what I know with Smitty doesn't care about this stuff, but he'll take it. To be able to say, Smitty, what you wearing? Oh, man, Gabby, this is my wife and this is my daughter. And they're like, Daddy, wait a minute. It's like, I don't want it for me. I want it for two reasons. I want it for my friends and my family to be able to enjoy themselves on the red carpet, getting suited and booted. And I would say to you major designers out there, you're not going to miss a couple of suits. So Smitty's going to be dressed down. I'm wearing, you know what I'm saying? To have some, and I want them to walk in with their names on the seats. Like, oh shoot. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, this is our section right here. And to be able to say shout out to all my colleagues out here in this business. And I would want to do it for my mom. Not for reasons you guys may think, though. My mother is always, I look just like my mom. Like, I look just like her. So she used to always tell me, don't embarrass me, right? I would love to walk out, suited and booted, and fall. Oh, she on live TV. So she'll go, what the? I go, oh, and I look up and go, did y'all get that? And after that, I said, listen, man, welcome to the NFL Honors. I am your host, Ben Troupe, and we're going to have some fun tonight. Yeah. And next thing you know, I said, put the camera on Smitty right now. I like, Smitty, Bryce Young is in the building right now. What do you want to say? I just want to say I love you, Bryce, and I appreciate. I said, hold on, Bryce or Cam? No. I'm gonna say we got Bryce, we got Cam, and we got Christian McCaffrey. Who you loving most? Like this, you gonna make me pick in front of all these people? Yeah, I'm gonna make you a pick. You be like, ah.
Yeah, I enjoy them all, but yeah. But C-Mac is currently in the league, and he's
C-Mac is the what? Hold on, what's it about?
No. I honestly though, yeah, I mean they're all good players, obviously, but C-Mac's not on the team anymore, so I gotta go with where we're currently at, Bryce.
Okay, so you say okay. So hold on, but are you saying that when C-Mac's career is over, he should retire a Panther.
He should, yes. Panthers gave him a chance before any other team in the NFL.
Okay.
The Niners passed on him multiple times, and I'm sorry, that's not true. The Niners did not select him. I'm thinking of another draft. I apologize. The Niners did not pass on him. I think the Niners would have maybe taken him had he been there, but they knew he wasn't obviously going to be there because they were way too far down in the draft order. But no, they gave him a chance. They stopped his slide at number 8 overall, and he's always said he's appreciative of the Panthers for taking a chance on him and being, that the organization that drafted him. He thought he was going to be with Carolina for a long time,
Really?
and obviously that didn't happen. Obviously with the trade back in the day. But let's finish up the Super Bowl preview here. I love the aside though. Thank you for that story, for those storylines, and a little walk down.
You better hope I don't get invited. I mean, you better hope they don't say, Ben, we a lot of people fell through. They said no, like the Pro Bowl. A lot of people said no. Can you do it?
Oh God.
As long
Yeah,
as
Pro Bowl. Shout out to the Pro Bowl tomorrow night.
I said, but can y'all knock on Smitty's door? I said, you Smith? Like, yeah. We want to invite cordially invite you to the NFL on. It's like, yes. Is this a prank? Like, no, it's not a prank. Like, Christian McCaffrey. Yeah, I want C-Mac to knock on this door, like Pro Bowl, like the Hall of Fame. That'd be
okay. All right, y'all are fun. Yeah. So yeah, Pro Bowl tomorrow night on Tuesday. They did their Pro Bowl festivities this weekend, but yeah. So Ben, very just to finish off our Super Bowl preview, I'm just going to give you 2 scenarios, and you just say advantage which team it is.
Okay.
Just very quickly, and we'll finish this off. When the Seahawks have the ball and the Patriots are on defense, who has the advantage in your eyes?
Seattle. I think Seattle got a lot of ways they can hurt you. I think they can be creative with them. I mean, Cooper Kupp is a guy that I think going to have a lot more to say in this Super Bowl. Jackson Smith, Kenneth Walker, and being able to be innovative with a guy like Sam Darnold. I say the advantage Seattle. Slightly, but I'm going to go with Seattle.
Patriots offense versus the Seattle defense. I think the Patriots are going to try to keep Seattle honest, obviously with Ramondre Stevenson, with Trevion Henderson out of the backfield. And they do not mind those long, methodical drives. So this will be a tough out for Seattle, but I got Seattle slightly in disadvantage here.
I got Seattle. I got Seattle by a mile because I think the thing is, Drake May, he got to prove that the moment isn't too big for him. He has been kind of shaky with the football as well. I got Seattle. They're very, very opportunistic, and if you make a mistake, like hold the ball, they will make you pay. I'm gonna go Seattle.
We talked about our X factors and potential MVPs, so we'll skip that one. Special teams, Seattle or New England?
Seattle, man. Seattle is nice.
Yeah, Marcus Jones, though, shout out.
Flipping the field is we don't appreciate that. I mean, he could, give me Seattle.
But shout out Marcus Jones for New England, also very good punt return.
Yeah.
They'll probably try to kick it out of bounds, so he has no chance to return or back him up inside the 10-yard line with some hang time. Coaching.
I'm going to go slightly New England because Josh McDaniels has been here before. Mike Vrabel has been there before. Obviously, Vrabel has been there as a coach. A player now as a coach. And this is why they're getting back to the standard of what New England was when they were there. They can only talk about when they were there, not previous and after. So I'm going to go love Coach McDonald and what he's doing, but I'm going to go slightly Patriots.
And then kind of the intangibles of the game. So, for instance, the Patriots have had the bigger turnaround, but obviously they've had the history winning the Super Bowls, right? Seahawks, they feel like the surprise team, even though they're not. They feel like underdogs despite having a really good defense. They have the 12th man. They have shorter travel than New England. They feel like they have that team of destiny, if you will. So I have advantage Seahawks.
I have advantage Seahawks for a different reason. Coach McDonald has a very cool, calm, collected demeanor, but you could tell underneath it all, he want to smash your face in. He ain't gonna say it out loud. And there is something to say, Smitty, about quiet confidence. Because sometimes people think confidence got to be out loud, got to be brash. Coach McDonald is very cool, calm, and collected, but he goes, hey, I interviewed for more than just Seattle. Y'all know that, right? Somebody else could have got me, but I wanted to be. Vrabel wanted to be the head coach of New England. That's why when he got let go with Tennessee, he didn't go anywhere else. So look, I'm not going to really interview anywhere else because I respect the process, but I want to be the predecessor of New England. Bill Belichick. Coach McDonald was saying, man, I know what they do out there Pacific Northwest. If I could just get my hands on it, man. Yeah. It's like the Seattle Seahawks were like a car that hasn't been driven in a while. And he goes, no. He said, hey, man, can I take this car off your hands? You sure you want this? Yeah. And when you saw it again, you was like, that's the same car? Yeah, so I would go, I think that New England is the media darling. And I think that Seattle, like I said, they are the land of misfit toys. You'll play with them, but they're not your first choice. They're not even your second choice. They're the only thing that's there. And guess what? We can't help how we look. We control what we do on in between them lines. So for that reason, Sam Darnold's story is only significant if he wins it. He got to win it because people are going to say, if he don't, here comes the narratives again. But Smitty, what does the NFL say? What do people – you know why Seattle? You know why I think it's Seattle too? Because if it wasn't Seattle, if I went to New England, that means the NFL is scripted. How they say, oh, it's scripted. It ain't scripted. It is not, because if it was, do you think Sam Darnold would be the last one on the last team standing? If it was, come on, but all these quarterbacks. So give me Seattle.
So Ben has Seattle 24-20. Yours truly has Seattle's 28-20. If Drake May wins the game, he will become the second year in the Super Bowl, winning a Super Bowl with Tom Brady also doing that for New England. And then a footnote, if Darnold wins the Super Bowl, that means he will beat New England for the very first time. He is currently 0-4 against the Patriots in his career. And he has to thank the Jets for that.
a lot of Jets quarterbacks have to thank the Jets for that. So,
yeah. All right, let's get into the headlines now and things around the league. We've got two coaching hires that are technically final, Ben. One is not final till after the Super Bowl, but we'll start with the Arizona Cardinals. They hire Rams offensive coordinator Mike LaFleur, younger brother of Matt LaFleur of the Green Bay Packers. And your thoughts on that hire specifically, your thoughts?
I think it's a good hire. I think Coach LaFleur gets a chance to kind of start a LaFleur legacy, if you will. We talking about how the Harbaugh brothers have their legacy, but it's still gonna depend on who's gonna be his quarterback. Because I don't know if Kyler Murray is gonna be his quarterback. Obviously, you're gonna have to look to the draft for a quarterback, but can he shift the culture? I know these coaches can coach. If you cannot shift the culture, they're going to fire you for it. Because as much as they know you want to come in and bring in the right players don't matter if the culture is bad. And when the culture is good, you can bring in anybody. You have to bring in the right players for a bad culture. You can bring in any player to a good culture. Right now, there is no culture. I'm going to be looking to see what Coach LaFleur is doing. And shout out to the LaFleur family. I mean, the LaFleurs, the Kubiaks. I know they both of his sons are in position to be head coaches one day. You talk about the Harbaughs. You talk about the legacy of the Shanahan. So a lot of these coaches, whether they're doing father, son, or brothers, are getting a chance to try to go out there and have a legacy with their last names. I'm pretty sure Matt is very, very proud of his brother.
And then will not be finalized till after the Super Bowl, but the Las Vegas Raiders will hire Clint Kubiak, offensive coordinator of the Seattle Seahawks, where he will be heading to Las Vegas. Ben, this is will be his sixth coaching job in 6 seasons. He was with the Minnesota Vikings through 2019, where he was all the way up to quarterbacks coach. And then he went to follow this path for me: Minnesota, Denver, San Francisco, New Orleans, and Seattle.
He's done it the right way.
And then Las Vegas.
All these different coaches, all these different coaching destinations for him, landing spots, give him a different perspective because every one of those places had a different quarterback, every one of those places had a different culture. Every one of those places had a different head coach. So you had to learn from a lot of different meeting rooms, coaches around him. And Kubiak has the hardest job in sports. You have to shift the culture in Las Vegas. That is going to and I hope that the Raiders give him time because it is a dumpster fire out there in Vegas. It is. It is rough.
Fernando Mendoza will not be playing for that.
It doesn't mean that it's any one particular person's fault, individual fault. But something has to be done, Smitty. It's like this, Smitty. There's a reason why people buy new houses. They don't want to get the house that's been abandoned because an abandoned house is going to be a lot cheaper. But when you walk inside, you're like, dude, they done pulled this down. Look at the drapes. So Kubiak, I am rooting for you. Look, I played for the Raiders, the Oakland Raiders. So the silver and black is near and dear to my heart. Just like the Titans, just like the Bucks teams that gave me an opportunity, to be a professional in the National Football League. But it was a dumpster fire when I was with the Raiders, and it is a dumpster fire now. Whether it's Lane Kiffin or Pete Carroll or John Gruden, it's awful. It is awful. They're going to have to figure out what's going on, and they're going to have to get down to the root cause of the problem and stop treating it like a Band-Aid because it ain't working.
Yeah. Las Vegas fans, I feel for you. Previously Oakland, feel for you guys out there. Arizona as well. Not a lot of winning there over the past a long time as well. So, and unfortunately for the Cardinal fans, well, really both franchises, right? Sean Payton, Jim Harbaugh, Andy Reid in the AFC West, and then the NFC West, Sean McVay, Kyle Shanahan, and now Mike McDonald. I mean, good gosh.
It
is struggle.
It's gonna LaFleur. I mean, we rooting for you, but it's gonna be rough on you, sir. And
Kubiak, we're rooting for you as well.
Yeah. We root for all the coaches. Every coach, every new head coach. Even if you're, Mike McCarthy. I guess. I'm just some of these coaching hires make sense, and some of them I'm like, what? But hey, that's why I talk about them on these airways. I'm not coaching them in person, but shout out to all them coaches that do new destination spots. Shout out to Mike McDaniels landing with the Chargers, and Raheem Morris, new defensive coordinator, replacing Coach Seeley there with the 49ers. So some of these guys got really, really good opportunities. The fact that Brian Flores got a new contract and didn't get a head coaching opportunity is a travesty, in my opinion. I think he's one of the best coaches right now that should have got an opportunity. But Eric Bieniemy landing back in Kansas City is not being talked about enough. That is one thing they had to get right. That is a surefire way sign to know either one. Could Andy Reid be on his way out the door after 2026, making way for Eric Bieniemy? I don't know. I ain't starting no rumors. Just saying, Big Red been doing it for a long time. Might be time to move on.
Yeah, we will see on that one. You mentioned some of those coordinator hires and some other headlines we'll get into as well. The NFL links a multi-year deal to continue playing games in Madrid, Spain, after having the first edition this year. And the Saints, also with the international series, will be playing their first game in Paris next year for the NFL.
I like what the NFL is doing. I would like to see what it does for the economy for either the build up to those games or when the actual game. Because if you talk about American football, the reason why it can never be overseas is because of how violent it is, and you're not going to have. I don't know how many people that big, that fast, that strong, but just in these other continents. I don't know. I could be wrong, but the NFL has done an incredible job of growing the game and exposing the game in other places. So Paris, Madrid, I'm just looking forward to seeing these players. There are players, most players in the National Football League, the biggest misconception is they travel. They don't. The only traveling they're doing is in the States and when they go into different cities to play games. They're not going, they don't have passports to just go overseas. No. Puka Nacua can't afford a home in LA right now. Puka Nacua can't afford one because he makes $400K. I'm not saying that ain't good money. I'm saying ain't enough money to buy a house.
Right.
but I'm pretty sure this offseason, I'm pretty sure his bank account will go up just a
bit much. Yeah. Sean Dugan is the new defensive coordinator in Miami, reuniting with Jeff Hatley, the new coach there in Miami. He is now joining him for the fourth time after previous coaching stops with Hatley at Ohio State, Boston College, and Green Bay.
For everybody that think that Pat McAfee did something unique when ESPN came and asked him, what do you want to do? And he said, I want to bring my crew with me. And if y'all don't sign them, you ain't signing me. That's how coaches remain good coaches. They look out for each other. If you become a head coach before me, you come get me. If I become a head coach before you, I'm coming to get you. I want people who I've worked with. It's just football. It's terminology. It's schemes. I want to be with people who know me, know them. And really, I don't want no yes men around me. So, yeah. And Brian Daboll, Robert Seeley. Woo, that's a nice combination in Tennessee, people. Y'all better watch out. We'll see.
Yep, Brian Dable looks like he'll be joining, and I'll do these next ones in kind of quick bullet points here. You mentioned 49ers hiring ex-Falcons head coach Raheem Morris as defensive coordinator. Brian Daboll joining Robert Saleh in Tennessee as offensive coordinator. Justin Jefferson coming out and saying the Vikings likely better if Darnold had stayed. And finally, Rams signed coach Sean McVay and general manager Les Snead to extensions.
I mean, is Justin Jefferson lying? That look, he ain't throwing shade at his current quarterback. He just said, "I know what I had with my previous one."
Right.
And he's looking at what his previous isn't my previous quarterback going to the Super Duper Bowl. I'm just saying, didn't he win 13 with us? He won 13 with them. Instead, they okay, he ain't lying. And I'm just happy for all these coaches. I really, really am. The coaching carousel is just as big as these free agent pickups because we be going, "Ooh, that's a nice pickup." Oh, why did they do that? But these front offices, some front offices know what they're doing. And shout out to Coach Monken, the new head coach of the Cleveland Browns, for welcoming Shedeur Sanders. And for those people that saying there are some analysts out there that will go and name Emmanuel Acho saying dumb stuff like, "I don't think Shedeur Sanders should listen to Coach Ty Monken." Why? You talking about Coach Monken that led Georgia to back-to-back national championships with Stetson Bennett, the same Coach Monken that went over and helped Lamar Jackson win the MVP? That Coach Monken? That's a pretty good resume last time I checked. And shout out to Coach Brady, already showing love to Keon Coleman. No one wanted to talk about how bad that front office was in Buffalo. It was bad. Coach Sean McDermott and the owner was doing some ill-advised stuff. But Coach Brady saying, "I appreciate these players and he appreciate his family who make the biggest sacrifice," saying, "I'm just happy that Keon Coleman got me as a head coach." Watch out, people. Keon Coleman could be up for a monster season in 2026. Just saying.
Last two here, Ben. This just came out minutes ago. Ravens hiring Dolphins defensive coordinator, a reunion of sorts. Anthony Weaver back in Baltimore as the defensive coordinator after working there from 21 to 23.
I like that. I like they going back to seeing how the defense was when he was there compared. They had a lot of holes in that defense. Too many stars on that defense to have as many holes as they did. Weaver's going to be a nice addition, coming back with a lot of guys that he has continuity with. Familiarity, can't even say these words with. And I'm looking forward to see how he gets back in the fold.
And then finally, we talked a little bit about this on our friend Desmond Johnson, his show earlier last week. But the whole saga, if you will, with Bill Belichick, officially the Hall of Fame will be announced later this week at NFL Honors on Saturday. So we'll get to see that coming up on Saturday, who gets in officially. But your thoughts as we, for those who may not have seen Desmond's show, tune into the Desmond Johnson show as well. But I'll just talk about this really quickly, or however long you want to do it before we sign off here on episode 8 of Winning in the Division. Bill Belichick will officially not be a first ballot Hall of Famer. They did call and let him know that will not be in the cards for this upcoming reveal this year. I want to say it was Colin Cowherd, maybe, or one of those mainstream guys. I think it was Cowherd, though. I think he made the point something like, I don't see the big deal. Like, why we made Don Shula wait? They made Bill Walsh wait. They made Vince Lombardi wait. Like all these players. And so I think he had Jimmy Johnson on, longtime NFL head coach, college coach, and now Hall of Famer Jimmy Johnson, former Fox host as well, in the studio. And he essentially said, "Jimmy, am I crazy, or is this not that big of a deal?" And Jimmy just basically told him why that. He's like, "I understand what you're saying with all that, but this is different. This is just a different saga that is being done here to Bill Belichick." And he kind of went on a soliloquy about that. So having said all of that, I personally would have voted for him, but I think there are people who couldn't get past the deflate gates, the spy gates, the treating people with not much respect, like some of the people that Bill Belichick has done over the years, just kind of not really giving them the time of day, if you will. And so anyway, just want to kind of present that in a little bit of format there. So your thoughts on Bill Belichick and this decision by the Hall of Fame?
I mean, I was shocked that he didn't get in first ballot, but I'm not surprised. I think two things can be true. Was people going crazy when they literally? So now they're trying to switch the rules for Bill Belichick when they actually switched the rules to not benefit and hurt T.O. They switched them up to keep T.O. out. Bill Belichick not being the first ballot Hall of Famer should let people know that when you give this much power to these beat writers, this is what happens. You're giving them all the power. Because as much as I used to think, people love writing about the NFL. No, they love having a vote. They love that. Anything that has human beings involved comes with human error. Comes with opinions, feelings, emotions. And I wasn't a part of the media. I wasn't in New England and there are a lot of people who Bill Belichick rubbed the wrong way. Should that be the reason why he don't get in? No. But could that be the reason why he get in? Yep. Oh, and I know you got Willie McGinnis and former New England Patriots guys saying stuff like that. Everybody want to talk about Deflategate and Spygate. No. Deflategate was real and Spygate was real. Y'all got fined for it. The tapes got burned, Roger Goodell, which is, to me, is the biggest trap. Why would you burn them? Why would you not show?
And to say they would have 8 Super Bowls had they.
Here's the thing, right? Willie, they did an investigation. Y'all were found guilty. Y'all were doing it. It's okay. But there are people who are football purists. Barry Bonds is still not in the MLB Hall of Fame. So if you want to talk about the greatest travesty in sports, that's the biggest one. He's not in because there are people that don't think he should get in because they think he was on steroids. Even though he's never been caught, they say it. The Bill Belichick situation is a cautionary tale right here. Nobody is exempt. There is no such thing anymore as a guaranteed first ballot. Now, you know why people are really saying this? Because you know who's coming up, right? Yeah, Tom Brady.
Tom Brady.
And if he don't get in, T.O. not being a first ballot, there are three.
Yeah.
There are 3 receivers in the history of football that have over 150 plus touchdowns. Jerry Rice, Randy Moss, T.O. He didn't get in. Ridiculous. They're making him wait because they don't like him. Because the same people who don't. Here's the crazy part. How do you not vote in 2026? What you gonna vote for him in 2026? Why the change your heart? That's the crazy part. But Smitty, it's why we love football. Football is the most subjective sport there is because your eyes don't lie to you.
And I heard this. Maybe you don't believe this, or maybe you do. Apparently, there were also some voters, and this is me just listening to some podcasts, and the guys like Seth Wickersham of ESPN, Don Van out of those guys were coming on different shows, and they said something like to the effect, I'm not getting the exact words here correctly, maybe, but they said, well, some of the guys they voted for Belichick, right, and then some other ones who they're like, well, you could vote for 2 or 3 out of the 5 people here. They just assumed Belichick was going to get in, and they voted for guys like Ken Anderson. I apologize to the others who I cannot remember on the ballot right now, but they were trying to help out their buddies, if you will, that they knew and or played with or whatever, and they're just like, Belichick will get in. I don't. Yeah. So maybe that's what happened to him. I don't know.
I can believe that. Look, nothing will shock me, Smitty. Nothing. We live in 2026 where feelings and emotions are dictating more decisions than professionalism, data, and stats ever have. People are going off what they feel. This ain't you can't go off the stats. You can't go off the production. You can't he's what he's done, we might not see it again. I mean, he don't got as many wins.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong.
He don't got as many wins as Shula, but he got more Super Bowls than all these guys combined. When you think about the guys that's already in with Parcells and Shula and Lombardi and all those guys. So he didn't get in. It's breaking news. It's crazy, but it is the NFL. It is why we love it and hate it. It is why we can't stop watching it. And we tell people, look, this is our drug of choice. And I'm not promoting doing drugs either. This is our vice. This is our vice over here. But Bill Belichick should let everybody know, if it could happen to me, it could happen to anybody that come behind me, because first ballot Hall of Famers are very, 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 very rare. So we'll see.
Yeah, we will see. Again, the Pro Bowl, for those interested in, they've been doing their festivities this weekend. Tomorrow night, Jerry Rice versus Steve Young. They'll be the coaches of the 2 teams there. Shout out to those 2 Hall of Famers who are going to be having the time doing that and trying to get some of those guys the ball more than others and trying to get a win against some bragging rights or something. But this has been Winning the Division, episode number 88, Super Bowl preview episode, along with your coaching carousel and headlines around the league. Remember, you are either winning your division or you are just in your division, as we say here on Winning the Division. Keep it here. Hit that notification bell. Subscribe. Let us know how we're doing. We'll continue to have guests for you on this offseason. So many people to come as we continue to give you guys the content, all that you need to know. Keep Pounding Podcast Network, Fans First Sports Network, youtube.com/tobacco radio. And we'll be getting our own website soon. I think that's might be in the works. Little rumor mill going around there. So stay tuned, per sources. Stay tuned. And we'll see you guys next week to recap Super Bowl 60 in Santa Clara. Unless we have a special episode later in the week with a special guest. We'll see if that ends up happening or not. But stay tuned. Regardless, this has been Winning the Division, episode 88. We will see you next time.